Baldry explained a while ago, you persuade a member of your party to resign their seat, and you run in a by-election, and then you have a seat.
Less than 51% in 09, now to 48%, so less than half. I mean, that's...
I guess they decided to still run the video, even though it's obviously not telling the truth right now as far as the next premier of the province.
And yet, these wonderful, wonderful people step forward, and I have said to many people over this campaign that I have never been more proud of the candidates we have.
It's so good to be with you here today. I'm Darren Howard.
I'm Robert Nisbet.
And I'm Kendra Cooper.
We are wrapping up the election, and the sadness waved across the activist world as the Liberals and their pipeline got elected into office.
Yes, we're here with your post-election hangover.
Yes. And you know what? It is going to be a long, hot summer this year because every Indian band said Christy Clark's going to get stopped. Let's run this.
Yes, thanks, Verondine. Christy is a premier, but she does not have a riding now.
Yes.
Is that?
Yeah, in our system, the premier is the leader of the political party that has the majority of seats in the legislature, and the Liberals have won a majority, so Clark will be premier. This has happened in other provinces. It's happened in Quebec. It happened in Alberta. And what happens is that you, as Baldry explained a while ago, you persuade a member of your party to resign their seat, and you run in a by-election, and then you have a seat. There's no law that says how soon you have to do that. But by parliamentary tradition, you usually arrange it in a couple of months. So that would probably be a by-election we'd see over the summer. It's, as Baldry also pointed out, it's a matter of finding a very safe seat within the Vancouver region. Christy Clark lives in a Vancouver riding. She doesn't want to have to move to another community to be premier of the province.
Oh, we've got to laugh there because Christy Clark is just not that popular.
In a very conservative riding.
I know.
Yeah.
She lost it in her own backyard.
Yeah.
I mean,
she did.
I mean, and then humbled by the experience. I guess.
I guess so, yeah.
Some lackey's going to get tossed out. He's going to get a cushy job somewhere and lose the fact that he won just to support a girl with a bad haircut.
Yeah.
Let's talk about BC turnout. We're also going to, yes?
Are we going to mock the electorate?
Let's mock the electorate a bit. You're tuned into Radio Free Canada. Thanks for tuning in. An awesome day today. Let's run the clip and let's talk about it.
Vancouver Sun is reporting returns voter turnout, which is stunning if it's true, at only 48% of eligible voters going to the polls today. That's way down from the last election.
That's extraordinary, and that one was way down from the previous election. I think it was at 58% in 05, down to less than 51% in 09, now to 48%, so less than half. I mean, that's
and then only
disappointing.
less than half of them actually voted for the governing party.
Yes. On our system, they have a mandate. Do they have a mandate from the body of people in British Columbia? Well, there's 3 million voters in BC, so less than 1.5 million people actually voted. Haven't had a chance to examine the actual number of people who voted for each party. Presumably that's down as well. That is down as well. It's down big time for New Democrats. So New Democrats are the ones who stayed home. There was speculation it was going to be the BC Liberals who were going to stay home, that they didn't have the motivation to go out and support that party. It was New Democrats under Adrian Dix's campaign who did not materialize at the ballot box and did not materialize to an extent that had this as a shocking upset.
All right. So, you know, it's an interesting outcome for sure. A lot of people said the NDP lost because there was a split vote, but I'm not entirely sure of that. I think a lot of people voted because of the Green Party, and that maybe if the Green Party wasn't there, there would be less voters.
You know, that's an interesting point. If the Green Party wasn't there, certain ridings, you know, the people wouldn't come out and, you know, join in on the situation at all.
That's a frightening thought.
Well,
Look at what happened in Victoria, though. Over 60% of the voters on the island in one riding elected a Green Party.
Yeah.
The only one, is that right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's what happens when people get off their duffs and go out and vote.
Still, I'm kind of ashamed of our electorate here. I mean, only 48% of eligible voters voted.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in places like Islamabad and Baghdad, where bombs are going off during the elections, people are getting out to vote.
And that's the amazing part about this is that people do risk it. Look at Hugo Chavez. 73 to 85% of certain ridings go out and vote, and they're getting shot at.
Yeah.
And then here, it's like, oh, well, I don't vote. Okay, but you brought up a really interesting thing.
And like with Chavez and stuff, he's got a pretty, good ideology, I guess you could say. People want to follow it, and maybe it's just that people feel that these parties are too centralized, that they're blanket parties, and that the Green Party is as far left as they can go, and that these other places where bombs are going off are completely different political culture.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
They've got to have a message, and this is one of the things that I was saying to some politicians I was meeting with. I said, your message is not invigorating people. Because if you had a message or you were a champion for something, but really all you do is maintain the status quo and say, well, we're just going to keep doing it in this manner.
Isn't that the definition of insanity?
Doing the same thing all the time.
Expecting different results,
Yeah, I mean, the NDP had to let go of some of their socialist roots just to move more into the center. And that is like the political game. Right? So we're starting to see less people show up, and I don't know if we need to, keep it the same and get people to vote, or if we need to change the political system for people to vote.
Well, if you take a look at what the NDP had to say. Well, actually, do you want to do this? Let's run this clip.
Okay.
Okay, because sniveling is going on.
I know that the media in this town is incredibly biased, and you're fighting against a very biased media. And yet, these wonderful, wonderful people step forward. And I have said to many people over this campaign that I've never been more proud of the candidates we have. I think we've had 3 absolutely.
I just had, we had a little meeting yesterday, and I was talking to the guys, and I said, the NDP cannot complain about the media because the media love the NDP.
Yeah.
And then what we have Tish Lakes doing?
Yes.
Complaining about the media, saying
How
they're incredibly
on earth?
biased.
Okay, now we have the media chasing things down and, going and talking about it. They love the NDP. Everyone just put the stamp of approval. And then the NDP got lazy. Yeah. They didn't hit the streets. They didn't invigorate people.
I did notice that the Kelowna Courier did seem to have a fairly liberal bias when it came to reporting on election issues.
And Walter Gray had a liberal bias. He actually came out and waded in on another jurisdiction, and that's usually a big political no-no. Walter Gray got himself on the firing line for that one. Of course, we'll be taking him to task on Saturday. However, the media was right there for the NDP.
Yeah. They were.
For the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it was biased, I think. Okay, biased, one-sided reporting.
All the polls said that the NDP would win by a landslide.
Right.
Wow, I'd hate to be a pollster now.
Angus Reid right now is showing us how exactly. But remember, these polls, the only people that they listen to with the Angus Reid polls and all those polls is, do you got 2 kids in college? Do you own a home? Do you own 4 vehicles? Do you take vacations on a regular basis?
Yeah, I didn't get a phone call.
Are you the 1%? Then we listen to you.
Yeah.
And that's why they're always wrong, okay? That they're always way off. It's sort of like the weatherman, Mike said it would be like this. Not. Okay. I want to so let's run down the whole schmeal.
We'll wrap this up in the 3-minute report from Global News.
All right.
We rehearsed this enough to know you don't see that graphic unless it's true. We are calling a liberal government. Now, whether that's a majority or a minority government remains to be seen, but the numbers right now favor the Liberals enough that we believe they are going to form the next government. And that's something that I don't think either one of us thought we would be saying tonight.
Thank you so very much. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. And look at this. My daughter comes with a bunch of flowers. Thank you, honey. Thank you.
Got something for both of you. You're gonna have to share it, but it's a souvenir for tonight. It's an 801 pin, which we had shown in the newscast a while back, but it's a souvenir for you.
I think of that pin and what I thought of it from the very beginning. It's pretty exciting. It's a riding that took a chance 4 years ago, and it's taken another chance and re-elected an independent. I think this riding has made me some political history today.
I got to say, I bought into the pollsters and the media and the pundits, and I went through the 5 stages of mourning. You know, I was angry. I tried to negotiate. I had a reluctant acceptance, and now the party has risen from the dead. It's a miracle.
Well, Chris, you can tell Keith this is what he'll be looking at. There's a legislature behind me. And this is what he'll be looking at during question period in the afternoons.
I don't think the New Democrats saw this coming.
I guess they decided to still run the video, even though it's obviously not telling the truth right now as far as the next premier of the province.
You've already paid for the video, so you may as well use it.
I think Christie was able to connect the right government with jobs and a secure economic future, and Adrian Drick ran a mysterious campaign. And I think at the end of the day, people didn't want to take the risk.
I want to assure them that we will continue the fight, to fight for smarter spending, lower taxes, and a better life for British Columbians.
We didn't split the vote. We are the vote in Oak Bay, Gordon Head.
Our work has just begun because the work begins anew with this strong new team, with a renewed party, a renewed mandate, and the confidence of British Columbians to build this economy.
I have to steal that from you, Robert. It looks like she is channeling Stephen Harper.
Oh, that's a frightening thought.
She has Stephen Harper's media team.
Well.
Okay. I mean, the scary part about it is, and then the pro-pipeline stuff. Yeah. I said to the guys yesterday, I said, if the NDP would have been champions for the environment, they would have won. Instead, they took a lackadaisical kind of wishy-washy point, and they watered down their point, and then that's what you get.
Centralizing again. Right?
Also, nice guys finish last.
Yeah.
Okay? We're human beings out here. We're not politically correct when we vote. We vote by our passions. Mm-hmm. Those guys are the opposite of passionate. And, you know, Adrian Dix didn't win his riding, did he?
No.
And then Christy Clark didn't win her riding.
That's funny.
One last note here to make us all smile. Okay? Our local, in my opinion, racist representative, Daleen Van Ryswick, got 0.01% of the local vote.
Which riding? She wasn't in my riding.
Okanagan Mission.
Okay.
Okay, she was down in the Mission, and she figured she had all this popularity, and if you looked at her Facebook group, Daleen really thought she was all that. 1,024 people voted for her.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the lesson here is if you're going to be a politician, be careful what you post online.
You know, common sense 1, racist 0.
Yeah, there you go. Woohoo. I said it straight out. I actually thought she'd get 2,000 votes.
Yeah.
Because there are that many blind, stupid people that are in Kelowna who believe that racism is for real. But you know what? The minority, that's what they are, and we do not respect it anymore.
Well, no, we don't.
So we would like to say a grand thank you for Daleen for showing up and showing us exactly how backwards she is. Now let's find out what businesses she owns.
And we also say, watch out, Christy. We's going to be keeping an eye on you.
Oh, yeah, I'm not going to roll over. No. Time for more democracy, just in a direct form.
See? Now you're talking my language. Remember, hold your politicians accountable. That's what makes democracy work. Find out where they live, which businesses support them, and exactly where all of their people are from, and you'll get the issue. I'm Darren Howard.
I'm Robert Nisbet.
And I'm Kendra Cooper.
Remember, change is what's happening. Fascism is losing, activism is winning, and we're going to be back with more. Stay tuned. This is Radio Free Canada.